Okay, here are the answers to the 6-4 parallelograms practice set. By the way, this little symbol right here, if you didn't catch on, means parallelogram. So I said you didn't have to put a symbol in front of a quadrilateral, because if you use 4 letters, I know you're talking about a quadrilateral. But if you want to specify a parallelogram, you can use that little symbol right there. So this picture over here is a parallelogram. So the first question is, what is DG parallel to? So DG would be parallel to EF. And the reason is because of the definition of parallelogram. Definition of parallelogram says that opposite sides are parallel. Okay, number 2 is next. We want to know what DE is congruent to. So DE is congruent to GF. And that is because opposite sides are congruent. Do not forget that these justifications are mandatory. Alright, GH is next. What is GH congruent to? Well, GH is congruent to HE because diagonals bisect each other. So HE, because diagonals bisect each other. Okay, next we have angle DEF. Angle DEF. What is it congruent to? Well, that would be this entire angle E right here. So it's equal to, congruent to this angle over here because opposite angles are congruent to each other. So it's congruent to angle DGF, again, because opposite angles are congruent. All right, next we have angle EFG. What is it supplementary to? So what is this angle supplementary to? Well, it's supplementary to either of the adjacent angles or consecutive angles. So either all of angle E or all of angle G. You could have said either one. So it's either angle DEF or angle FGD. Okay, and that is because of the property that consecutive angles are supplementary. All right, and finally, number 6 is triangle DGE. So triangle DGE is congruent to what triangle? And you know that opposite sides are congruent, and then there's a shared side right here. So it would be triangle DGE is going to match up with, D is going to go with F, G is going to go with E, and E is going to go with G. And the way I've proven it is by side, 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 but you may have picked a different way to show that those two triangles are similar. Congruent. Okay, the next video will continue on with this lesson. Well, actually, we have time for another one. Let me do another one. All right, for number 7. So we know that all of CE is 14. And then we know L to E is 2x minus 3. So this is 2x, 13, minus 13. All right, we know that diagonals bisect each other in a parallelogram. So L to C would also be 2x minus 13. Those two pieces are equal. Then these two pieces would add up to a total of 14 because segment addition postulate says if you add the pieces, you get the sum of the whole thing. So to solve for x, we can set this problem up 2x minus 13 added to 2x minus 13 equals 14. I'll combine my like terms. I get 4x minus 26 equals 14. Add 26 to both sides. I get 4x equals 40. Divide by 4 and x is 10. So because those diagonal pieces were equal to each other, I was able to put the same measure on each. And then I add up the two pieces, set it equal to the whole thing. Okay, now I'm going to pause the video before completing the last 4 problems.